Hi, this is Mia. I made a ridiculously long video yesterday, and I made a ridiculously long video today, and I was upset at myself for being mad at my weakness of working without having your coworkers or your boss see you working hard. Just like work normal, but then like when nobody's looking or everyone's on break, it's like you just like it's like fax this, do this, call this on 2 phones at once. Can you hold on? Talk, main questions, doing all the thing. It's like tidying up everything, and when they come back, they just see you. What do you do? Nothing. Like, and that's my problem. Like, I don't brag, and I'm humble, but I think in this economy, you don't survive that way if people are like, they have their eyes covered. They have the wool over their eyes as far as what the first impression when they walk into a room, or the way somebody talks or looks, or whether they had plastic surgery or not, which is their choice. But I've learned that it's kind of a thing. I'm really stressed out. I have 3 different sets of paperwork from the unemployment office, and I misplaced. I'm like trying to keep all these papers together, and they're like, well, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you said you were self-employed, you got to fill this out, and that was in the email, and then they're like, well, you have to fill this out because you said you're a student, and then you worked at a institution of education, and then this happened because your employer spelled your name wrong. So I'm just like, it's not like this, like, go to all work or self-employment for 40 hours a week, and if you're a student, then you're gonna waive this, how many credits you're taking. Like, well, I didn't take credits, I'm doing this other program, and I found I thought I had like I'm running out of these, and I still want to go get more. I had like picture frame hooks too for the walls, and I'm like, I should take those back. I'm like, anything that's in a package at home right now, I'm just like, I'm taking it back. But I'm not gonna, I don't know where any receipts. Like, I'm trying to decide, like, before I lost my job, I said, well, I'll keep working here. I'll keep living here until I earn enough to get kicked out since it's subsidized. And then I was like, because all of my house owning plans fell through. The funding of everything I promised. All of my midwifery fees it all fell through, and the cost of starting up a business fell through. Different agencies or individuals had promised, like, in this time, in 2 years, when you're A, B, and C, then we will hand you the cash. And then 2 years came and went, 4 years, and I'm sitting here like, I'm an adult. I shouldn't have depended on them. I should have I came up with a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. But now I'm on plan D, and I unfortunately, I like going and having a plan A and a B. Plan C often comes up out of urgency, which is why I applied for the job that I applied for. And then plan D usually is like, they can't, like, God would never make it that hard. So I have like papers here, this one online, this one I have to do this by, I was looking for this by the 30th, so I should play it out today. They're like, based on your work history, you do not qualify for unemployment insurance. They told me that I was going to get this, but then they're like, you have to do all of these. If you work 3 months and immediately fall in the base year, you may be eligible. When using telephone reporting, be sure to call a weekly claim starting with the first week that you need to claim. So like, we still need you to claim, and then they're trying to say that you don't qualify and all that stuff. And then they're like, you do not qualify. Seek work is required with benefits. And I'm like, I already been denied. And then they're like, if we decide that you're gonna get unemployment insurance, then you will not receive your check for at least 3 weeks. And I'm like so confused. And the unemployment is so low. I could be on welfare and make more money. It's so low that I wouldn't be able to pay my rent. So I'm like freaking the heck out. I've been doing way more than 5 work-seeking activities. You're kind of supplied each week. You claim benefits unless you're laid off and have a definite return, so I don't. Return to full-time work, they say. Indefinite return days with 4 weeks. No, that doesn't. You're good standing. That does not allow you to seek non-union work. So I have to go to this place. I think I didn't do step 1. I did step 2. I need to do step 3. I better do this right now, huh? I have to go to the next freaking county. I don't have gas for this. I'm hoarding the gas that's in my gas tank right now. If today is the 22nd, somebody's bragging they just got married, went on honeymoon, and passed their board. I'm like, I never celebrated anything in my life. I'm like, today is the 22nd, and the 30th is next Wednesday. I have to go. I'll try to the next county. I could go out and sell lemonade and be better off. I feel like you need a business license and a food handler. Well, I have the food handler card. I need to call in about this letter and some people $200. So they're trying to tell me that I need to fill this out and have the highest gross before the school break, and their school doesn't have a break. It's not like elementary school when a school goes out for the summer. So right now I made two really long videos. One, I don't know what I was babbling about. This one today I was complaining, and then I was freaking out about, I was like, oh my gosh, if I don't go anywhere in the car, if I don't pay any bills, if I don't get gas, if I don't buy food or anything, then I can go pay my rent in October. And I'll have like $15 left in my account. And I'm like, dude, that sucks. I'm like, I don't even know if I have any more checks left. That last time I checked, I would have to pay $20, $30 for checks. So now I'm like, maybe I can walk to the store and pick up some food. Maybe I can get a ride to the food bank. I'm all like in survival mode, and I shared that I used 2 of my we had a couple of bags that had emergency kits in them, and we ate all of the food post graduation because I didn't make enough money, and I was working, but I was using money I should have been starting a business as a medical doctor, not a licensed naturopath in my own clinic, or at least someone else's clinic. I use that money just to survive, pay the bills, buy food, use tons of coupons, which I hate doing, but because I hate doing it because it's usually food that I would never buy, or like I used to be able to when when it wasn't the kids organic food and more fruits and vegetables and kid-friendly organic type snacks with, you know, less food colorings and chemicals. But then first of all, those products, they started selling out or whatever and going cheap with they'd keep the prices high. They made the prices even high, that's one. Two, the quality wasn't as good. So something my kids would be eating for years that's made of like oats and molasses and honey, like waffles and gluten-free, and then my kids like, why are the pack of waffles been in here for 3 months? Oh, we don't eat that. We don't like it. It tastes funny. Then you read the ingredients, you're like, oh, high fructose corn syrup and this, that, and the other made with gluten and all this stuff. And you're like, oh, what happened to it's like the same brand, different box. Like, oh, you updated our packaging, but then you realize they updated their entire thing. This made a video, so I went to my kid. I said I was like, because I'm a single parent, I was married for 10 years, divorced for 10 years, for separated and divorced for 11 years, still part of that overlaps, because I am old enough to. So I was married for 10 years and divorced for 10 years, and a couple of years of that overlap. And I guess I am old enough to have 20 years of being divorced and married combined. Like, ooh. But I applied for some jobs, and some of the stuff, like one of them I had a bad feeling about, and it sounds perfectly legitimate and really good. There was a lack, like, I had a lack of communication, but I had a bunch of questions that weren't answered, and it's my medical license on the line. And then there's another one from out of state that's hiring, it kind of sounds trendy, but in state, because I'm like, I'm only working in state, and there's some red flags about this. Their coordinator didn't know my requirements I needed. And then they had some random person send me a packet, and then they were calling me at 9 o'clock this morning trying to. I didn't, like, first of all, I was still in bed. Because of the car accident, I can't move in the morning. I can't feel my leg. I still can't feel my hands and feet, but I'm making myself get up to go pee. And I never returned the employment paperwork because people needed me to have a DEA license, and I was trying to tell them, like, you told me yesterday I didn't need it, and then I get this paperwork says in order to work here you need it, and you're like trying to tell me all this, and then I'm like, I can't work and have you guys prescribing drugs to people that I chart stuff about, or even supplements, without doing a physical exam. So can you tell me something about that? And I felt rude, but I'm like, I read something that's like, we provide insurance for all providers, and they're like, if anything happens, you're responsible for all malpractice fees and court costs, that we are not responsible. I'm like, it was like one line after, like, really doesn't make sense, and it's really shady. People are like, didn't know what they're talking about. They're like, oh, we're gonna do an interview with you tomorrow at this time, and I waited for the Eastern, like, I was like, you're sure of the Pacific, like, you're telling me Eastern time, so I scheduled it in my Pacific time, and then my whole day went by, and then I was like, maybe they meant Pacific time, not Eastern time. So I was like, 3 hours later, I'm still waiting. Call them, oh yeah, we forgot to call you. I'm like, you know what, I just canceled my whole day, and I'm sitting by the phone, like, trying to like be professional at work, but trying not to be out driving around and not all this stuff. Didn't even know how to say my name. So these people scheduled me to work, and I never even applied for the job. And I'm like, I never signed one document. All I asked was for information if they're hiring, if they hired naturopaths, and they didn't even seem to care. I didn't apply. But I know I've been up all night applying for jobs and signing up for emails, but I don't know. I didn't even download the stuff off the computer. That's creeping me out. Schedule me at 9 o'clock. They're like, oh, we schedule you and cancel the appointment. I was like, I just listened to the message for the first time. They called my home phone too, and I'm like, I never signed any papers to work there. I didn't think I was qualified. I didn't do an orientation where they actually set me up to use their computer system. My hours were like Thursday evening and like Friday evening or something that wasn't going to interfere with my life, and it was definitely not at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. You know, this is making me so mad. This is why I've been in timeout for like 20 hours. So, no, I feel flattered, but this kind of called the Oregon board a couple of questions, and they're trying to ask some information about working. They were not answering my questions. Like, if I had my clinic set up right now and someone's like, what's the pay going to be? How many hours can I expect? Like, what kind of benefits? I'm not going to hand some bunch of paperwork that talks about benefits and stuff. And then it's like, they never told me there weren't any benefits. There's not going to be any insurance. There's not going to be this or that. Like, why does the paperwork conflict with what they're saying verbally? And it's like, did they just swipe it off of the internet or something? Yeah, probably they did. And it doesn't. It's like, I want somebody to, like, if I were to say there's some stuff I used when I was a student that maybe I tailored toward my school clinic, and then we would come up with stuff for school and for studying for our tests, and even for the classes early on when we didn't go in clinic yet. And say I still have the stuff saved on the computer. If I want to use it for my personal business, to create it in the I'm not just going to print it and use it. I need to change it and update it and keep it current if there's changes in the way that the doctors can do the job. Like, for pain management are certain criteria to follow, like say HIPAA, different HIPAA rules that might have changed in the past couple of years. Like, it needs to be added to the document. It can't just be stale. It can't just be like, let me just pull this from my binder. You know, some stuff you can do that with if it's just like history taking and physical exam, but some stuff is like ever-changing insurance, if you take insurance or not. So yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm gonna call these people right now. Call the board and to be like rush hour. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna have to go to this employment place right now. ID. I'm gonna go right now. I'm waiting to hear. I faxed some information about my being a student, and I have to still do the information about being a self-employed. And so I feel like everything needs to cancel each other out. So I'm doing this. I was looking and saving a couple jobs last night, and I was using my phone. I don't wake up in the middle of the night and send resumes. Like, I might ask questions, but I don't wake up and do resumes. That's just too... Every place is very different. It's like, I'm not like... If I was like an RN applying at a hospital and I was in an emergency room, I would have a very similar resume and cover letter. But right now, I'm like... This is like a place is like a lab assistant. This place is like actually naturopathic. This place is like actually like research. I would have to add for research, my experience in research and helping with grant writing and helping with the classes that I did research through medical school, post-bac stuff, whatever. And then, like, what if this job was working with children autistic? I would put that in the cover letter and resume, because everything that I'm old enough to be older everything that I'm old enough to have a lot of experience. A lot of it is volunteering, education, and working different jobs through my whole life, starting at before age 16. So it's like, it doesn't. A few years ago, everything fit on one resume, on like one or two pages, and a couple years more like applications. But I tried to call somebody to ask him for some help, and I couldn't get through. So now I don't know what to do. There was a job I'd shadowed at a certain clinic once, and there was a job. They said you should make yourself a position right now, and that was like 3 years ago. And I was like, no, I need to just focus on school. And they're like, do this, and they're not going to call you back, but on the 11th time they'll call and contact you, and then get. And I never did, and I was like, I'm not being self-practice, and then I went to midwifery, and then I was like, trying to get my kids. I had almost quit school because I was having problems with my kids' school and all this stuff, and I was like, I need to be there for them, not be in school, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all of a sudden, like, I just feel dumb. I'm at a point right now where I wish that I wish I had a friend or relative that I can call and just like cry for a minute and just get in the shower, get dressed, and get this stuff taken care of, and get like just get a job anywhere. And I mean, I was getting paid more than minimum wage at my other job, and I wasn't able to. I would have been able to cover the rent and a little bit of. And now it's gone, so if I took less pay, I would have to work more hours on more than one job. So unfortunately, I just feel like I'm screwed. Like, I'm like, dude. And I wasn't feeling well this morning. Kids outside were screaming. Phone was ringing at 9 in the morning. I was just like, I've been going out at 7 days a week, and even when I was in school, it was 13-hour days, Monday through Friday, not Monday through Friday, but multiple days in a week, and then I had Saturdays, Sundays classes, and then births, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So I'm just like in this continuous, like, gotta keep doing this, and today I was like, the fact, and I was just like doing job search from my phone. I was like, let's just kind of sync my body, let's just kind of get my mind and my mental and my emotions under control, because I'm very upset. I'm more insulted that I have found no one to talk to about this than anything else. And so now I'm like, I'm more insulted. Like, when I got in a wreck, I was insulted. When I had a surgery and couldn't drive or walk or make food for my kids, I was insulted. I will tell you that, yeah, I do feel for myself being able to have help. And I would, in the past, always bend over backwards to help other people and to drive them places, take them to the dentist and take them to the grocery store, and if they run out of money, help pay for stuff, even though I was, not having much money myself, and writing all of my money check over to the church. Like, I was stupid in the past. Like, I felt like the church kept telling me, you gotta give, you gotta do more than you believe you can, God will bless you in the end. And I just felt like more crippled and more exhausted and more food out of my mouth. Dude, you can't get, like, somebody saw her on the way with a Fred Meyer downtown, and she had all this gold, she had her hair, nails done, and she's like, give me some money, I need some chicken, give me some money. And I had, like, we were on food stands, we were homeless, we were in welfare. I had like $10 of cash in my pocket or whatever, and I was like going back and forth in the store, like, I need a food stands didn't come in until next week. Like, it was the cheapest stuff I can get. I was just like, okay, bananas, okay, And I was just like walking back and forth trying to figure out what with my 2 kids in the car, like, and this lady kept following around the store so bad that I had to tell one of the guys in the deli that she's harassing me. I'm like, the church told me that I had to give. I would have just given her my last $10 and walked out of the store with nothing, and my kids would have been hungry. And we did that with our stupid cats. When I was doing it, the cats ran out of food. My ex-husband got food. I got nothing, and I went home and cried, and I ate a couple crackers I had, and I almost choked it up. And because I was so mad and hungry, he was just like, "You're being a brat," and went outside, and it's like, "Leave me alone, don't talk to me," and went up to the hammock. I just cried. I was like, I've eaten nothing all day. I'm glad I have these 5 crackers. And I just cried and inhaled some of it, and just like, "Bleh." And I got in the back of the chair, and I did like Heimlich, and I could have died. Like, I couldn't breathe at all. And I talked to him, and I don't think I told him that I had to do the Heimlich on myself. It was just like, your life flashes before your eyes, and you're alone. Do not eat and cry. And I'm just grateful I have my kids, but sometimes I feel like I've been bitten by the poverty bug ever since I became an adult, and I've been trying to work my way out of it. I've been trying to educate my way out of it. I've been trying to penny pinch and use coupons, and just like, I'd be like, what if there was like, not Ebola, what are those movies that, like, what if there's contagion? What if it's like you're on quarantine, you're sitting in your house, you can't go grocery shopping like for a week? And I would play the scenario and be like, I'm not going anywhere for a week. I'd be like, okay, we're making rice. Okay, we're doing this. Right? Like, oh, that bag of rice, they eat 2 servings and it's already gone. You're like, oh, that didn't really last that long. He's like, trying to be creative. Until the kids are just, my son will go up all night and open and close cabinets, and I'm just like, oh, sorry, But anyways, I complained about the job, and I didn't know if I wanted to post it. At the end of the last video, I started crying because I've literally been toggling between going to ask the manager 5 months rent here. If I did, I'm leaving here in October, and I'm gonna go buy a camper off Craigslist for $1,000 in a trailer hitch for several hundred. I was so scared. I'm so scared that I'm gonna be evicted. I've asked people sometimes, like, can you tell me some information about this? And then they, just like this job, can you give me information about whether this job is available? And then they'll be like, they'll just sign you up for it. Or it's like, what if I wanted to revoke my library card because I was moving? And I'm thinking, maybe I'll move in 5 years. And then they just revoke your library card. Like, this happens a lot. The email, someone sent me the wrong email for somebody's thing, and they took my emails off. And I was like, wait, it's an email, I didn't. And so right now I'm trying to call people that I've known have dealt with being unemployed. Most of them were full-time, and I don't think they had any problems collecting unemployment. So right now I'm like, I wish I could just like go sit out in the sun and drink a cup of tea with somebody and just be like, I don't know what to do. Do you have any kind words? Please, like a friend to a friend, I'm asking for some moral support. Like, I just feel so unencouraged, and as an adult who has gone 11 years without anyone helping with my kids and without any child support, and like only criticism. Like, why don't your kids get their hair cut? Why don't your kids have nice shoes? Why don't your kids get a new backpack every year? Like, what, you gonna give it to us? You gonna pay for it? Because you're apparently milking the system for all it's worth, and your kid is driving a BMW. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't, like, kid is 16. There's no point in her having, because A, I afford to permit, B, she's not gonna have a car. And I wish that I could say that I could get her a little $1,200 something, but it probably cost $24 for the permit. And so I was saying earlier in the video, like, before, if I needed to, like, notarize something so that I could help my career as a naturopath that's totally tanked, or if I needed to get food, or if I knew there was a bunch of births, I needed to get my kids some chips and some cookies and some cheese so that they could feed themselves, I would just get in the car and go. And now I don't even want to spend the gas. I can't. If I had a bus pass right now, I'd ride the bus to the store and get them a bag of snacks. I pay $4 for a bus ticket, you know. I have a bunch of old ones and they're all expired, so they told me I could cash them in. I have like $20-something worth of bus tickets that they changed their format, so they won't allow me to use them anymore. But I always know that there's a lot of people in the world that are really lonely. I have a relative who really would just disapprove of me when I used to go to people's houses for Thanksgiving and stuff. He would really disapprove of me because he didn't have any friends and didn't invite relatives over, didn't go visit kids and grandkids and all this. And when I was alone or if I didn't go to church, they really encouraged that. So as an elder, it's just like, oh yeah, this is the way you're supposed to be, alone in the world with not any help and not a friend and no one to talk to as an adult, and just sit here and try to obsess about cleaning or yard work or surfing the net for jobs just to keep your mind off being alone. And I, unfortunately, like Facebook, what I know on there, you see all their pictures of friends and family, weddings, baby showers. I'll be like, oh, I was really good friends with that person. Like, they didn't even invite me to the baby shower. I was like, oh. Or if they did invite me, I'm like, I'm flat broke. I'm using the last of my money to get gas so I can go, and I feel really bad because I'm going to give you some generic card. Or I'm going to go buy a card and give you $10, and I feel like everyone else is giving you like $45 worth of gas, and I'm like, 30 and 15 on the card, and the money is like, that would have been a bag of groceries for my kids, and I'm sacrificing. So I just don't even care if they don't invite me because I want to be able to help people celebrate, but I cannot afford to celebrate. I never celebrated my graduation from medical school. I never had a party, never went out to eat. I was supposed to go, someone wanted to go out to eat, but I knew I would have to pay my way and I didn't have the money. I was like, can we walk around the park a couple times? And so I'm going to go look for a job. I'm going to call in these people and ask about how to fill out this paperwork. I am sharing with you because I've gotten some encouragement from websites and some people in person who had some somewhat unique circumstances, but not like, it's not like you're alone in the world with this. It's like the people that are allergic to water or whatever. It's not like that unique, but it's one of those things that when you get on a standard website or you call an agency and they're like, your life is too complicated, you need to wait, my life is my goal, and that complication is how I end up getting from point A to point B is by fulfilling all those needs, by doing the footwork and using elbow grease. So right now I wish I had a family member, a friend, or a counselor to talk to. I am like, I just want to cry and just, I keep asking God, like, help, I'm stuck. I'm stuck, and I feel like this lady was addicted to talked to our church group, a women's group once, and she was sometimes without a car, and she had 2 little kids or whatever, and she'd be like, if I didn't have a car, I would like pack up the kids in a wagon and grab like spare change from the store, like to get a Dr. Pepper, And she's like, one day, she's like, oh, God, I know I have a little problem. Like, oh, it's just soda, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And she heard the voice of God tell her, you need to stop. You're addicted to it. You need to stop. Like, do you see yourself? And she's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And she didn't stop drinking the Dr. Pepper. And she, like, stopped hearing from God. She would pray. She wouldn't feel in her of what to do next in life. And she might have had Dr. Pepper like once since then, maybe not even. This was a long time ago. But she was like, there was this one thing that God wanted her to not do, and she wasn't doing. She wasn't listening, and then all of a sudden, like, she just, her relationship with God was strained, and she wasn't feeling in her heart what her spiritual path was. And in her conscious and subconscious mind, she knew that the Dr. Pepper was the culprit. So that's, sometimes in a way I'm just like, there's got to be something that I'm not listening to. And some of the things that I feel, red flags and instincts I've ignored in the past and gotten in danger. Some of the things that I feel red flags and stuff right now is like, it's like, I want to go that gut feeling and be like, no, that's a potential to earn money. No, that's a potential to build prestige. No, that's a potential to get your loans forgiven, and that's a potential for money today. And my gut is like, you've gotten like at least 4 red flags with this situation. You need to stop. Like, you need to just not go there. Like, you've dealt with these red flags in the past. It's clear as mud. Like, it's not. It is as clear as mud because it's there. But logically, this sounds like a good path to take. But it's like, in the past, I've jumped or been desperate and jumped there, and it was not. And so, part of it is like, people would say, be still. Like, I haven't been still since before I graduated. I have been just like, oh my God, I do this. I've had people, clients be like, I can't be around you because your energy is too crazy. It's like too like, it's like I need peace and calm and be grounded, and I'm like not grounded. And I've been injured. That's jolting me really bad. I've been neglecting my own health and my organizing, and I haven't gone to any movie with the kids. I haven't gone roller skating. I haven't done the things that we used to do once a year. We used to go camping once a year. It's still like, I've let society pretty much kill me with so much stress, and it's not like I'm a top executive making a ton of money and providing food and shelter and housing and clothing and transportation for my kids. It's just like I'm in the bowels of the economy and slipping. Doesn't that happen to a frustrating woman? She like falls down the drain or something, and it's just like, no. And it's just like, you see the light up there and you're falling away from it. That's how I feel right now, and I'm sharing this video because I know in my heart I will like invisibly like imagine myself right now just being like, I'm just gonna lay down. Like, my mind is like, you need to be grounded, you need to sit down, and you need to start your book for a few minutes, you need to call a relative or something for a few minutes, and then you need to just be like still. And the other part of me is like, okay, you still got business hours, just like kicking yourself, like, go do this, like, oh, I'm gonna go to this place, I'm gonna talk to these people, I'm gonna try to do an interview, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna work this job, blah, 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 like, oh my gosh, I can't even buy gas. And so I feel like they always told us after medical school you need to chill out. And it's like, I should have chilled out on my own accord. Just like they suggest, like, you're going to be busy. If you don't chill out, you're not going to be able to open a practice. If you don't have your money and your budget all in place, you're not going to be able to open a practice. You're going to fail. You're going to live in your parents' basement. Like, no! And it's like, no, I can't. I gotta keep going. I gotta get a job. I gotta work more part-time jobs. I gotta do this. Gotta a little of this thing. Do birth work and da 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 da. And then just like my kids. Oh wait, they're growing up so fast. What am I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna make them up. Put a little sticky on the door. And that doesn't seem healthy. That's like, totally against my health. And so I'm gonna push stop and pray for everything. And I will make these calls for Accountability Club. I won't rest even though I want to. I've been feeling really sick this past week. My kid was sick. My other kid was sick. And I'm really wanting to fix my LinkedIn that's in German. So I will do that. In fact, I really don't want to, but I'm really going to call this number right now to get some more information. I'm going to this place. It's another county down the freeway, half an hour, which I don't want to spend the gas to go. I'm really like freaking out about it, but it's got to be done. So God bless.